Hey, are we on? Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, yo, it's Hex from Hex Heart. And my guest should be coming a little bit, Jordan Williams, the former vocalist of the last Titan, as well as an upcoming doing his own project um, called Rest in Deceit. I'm actually really uh, looking forward to this one because this is not exactly a one-on like band type thing, but this is going to be more of a one-on-one type discussion where he talks to me about some projects that he's got going on just as soon as he comes along because just as I'm saying, all right, so everyone, without further ado, we will be having Jordan enter now. Hey, yo,
What's up, man?
what's
Can you hear me good?
good, bro?
How's it going?
I'm doing good. Honestly, no, not so good. I had some issues with the some of the electricity, a lot of the power downtown. It was weird.
Yeah,
So, how are you doing?
man. Um, it's been a fucking journey lately, and excuse my profanity. Is that like
It's all good. We all do it.
okay?
There's no, yeah. Just let loose. Don't worry about it.
Um, you know, I've been saying this to a lot of people lately. Mental health is like a roller coaster. Lately, it's been going down, down, down. But I think I hit the point where I'm starting to go back up. So it feels
There you go.
nice, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't like. Is this really gonna be good? I don't know, but all in all, I've been good. Just got off work, just got done with a nice little workout, and pretty
There
hyped
you go.
for this little podcast interview and get to chat.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
and get out some information. I personally am looking forward to hearing more about this rest in deceit idea that keeps popping up. I'm personally you're making your own band, if I remember correctly. What exactly are you aiming for with it?
so for me personally, like I decided to start Rest in Deceit um, after like all that stuff with Titan went down. And for the record, there's no bad blood whatsoever. Like I still live with Hector and Ryan. It it's all things happen, and I try not to like I try not to hold grudges on anyone.
There you go.
And
There you
you
go.
know I don't have time to like be angry at someone.
Hold grudges. There you go. That's
Yeah,
a good way. It's all about improvements. Better than you were yesterday. Better than you were a week ago. Better than you were a month ago. Like it's, the way I hear it is that we all are chess pieces, but we can only move our own pieces. We can't move the other people. We can't force the other people to feel, see, or think our way because that's not our piece. We can't control that. So it's
right.
actually good. It's really good that you've come to that understanding. So why don't you uh, delve into a little bit of how this actually came to be. Like first off, you one way or another you are a successful vocalist.
I mean, I like to think that I'm pretty good, and I've improved over the years of doing vocals. Um, the like me doing vocals, I started when I was 18, and you know now 27, still still constantly learning, still exploring, and kind of finding where my voice can go. Um, and I feel like I'm never going to hit the point where I'm like, all right, I can't do anything else. I've done everything I can vocally, because I constantly like I learned about a new vocals technique. Okay, I want to try that, or I just, driving in my car, I mess around with like tongue placement or mouth shape or tone, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. And it's just it's so interesting being your own instrument and just being able to
Right.
make all these noises, and like it's crazy.
One of the things that I remember being told is when as a vocalist, you are basically making your own waves. It's not like there's no medium like in like drumming or clarinet or any other instrument. You are literally like making the instrument. What is that like?
Honestly, like just like you said, you're making the instrument. So as a vocalist, like let's say we have a show, or we have a like a show run, or we have a tour, or whatever it is, I have to make sure I do not get sick, get a cold, get anything like that, because if I get a cough or I get like a plugged up nose or anything like that, I'm done. Like that's it for me. If a
Right.
guitarist gets a cold, they can still play, it's fine. And that's not to knock down any other instrument, because we
Oh
all
yeah. Right.
together make the band. But as the vocalist, it's like you have to be really careful. And obviously I haven't done these like across the state shows or across the country tours or anything like that. I would love to, absolutely, but it hasn't hit in my life yet. But um, just
Didn't you do
knowing that,
that?
like, huh?
Didn't you do that one with Haunted by Day? Wasn't that you? The one with the Violence tour, I believe. Wasn't that you guys?
Yes, the Violence Speaks Volumes tour. That was we went to. Shoot, where did we go? I think we started in the Bay Area at the X Bar, and we went to like L.A. and Vegas, um, and then I think L.A. again, and then Sacramento. And when we played in Sacramento, that was like, I don't know what it is, but like Sacramento showed us a lot of love whenever we played. And honestly, I appreciate everyone that supported Titan when I was in it. And obviously there's people that are still supporting it now, and that's I think that's pretty cool. And there's some people that are supporting Rest in Deceit. And even though it's just me and I don't have a whole lot to show, I appreciate everyone that is, being day one supporters. And
Right.
when I do get a band together and we do, start writing music and recording and playing shows and all of that, I'm not going to forget who was day one supporters.
Of course. One of the ways that I actually brought this to you yesterday. It was the same thing as when Ronnie Radke and Craig from Escape the Fate and Bless the Fall kind of had their issues. Like at the time, Ronnie went over to his own band in Falling in Reverse, and then at some point, because he did that, they both had two different bands, which had very varying connection to and from. And I don't see this being an end for you. I mean, once you've established yourself a vocalist and you've actually gone through the ringer a few times, you know, that's it. You're stuck being a vocalist. You can only go. There's a quote that I keep remembering. It was from Sword of the Stone. It said, "You cannot go back. You can only go up from here."
Hmm.
Is that something that you feel? Do you feel that you even said yourself that I think this is a way for you to say it's about time for you to start on your own and try to make it as your, like you said, as your own band. Now the question I have is not what led up to this, but what led up to this strength. I mean, you've had a history from said 27 said 27. When did you start getting into metalcore and into these type of music feats?
So my dad was heavily into metal as a whole, and you know, being around him a lot, he would listen to a lot of metal, and so I grew up listening to metal, and my mom would listen to everything else. So my music taste goes pretty much everywhere, and for some reason, just like metal stuck, and I was like, I want to learn how they make these noises. I want to learn how they, do this. And when I was, I think I was about maybe 13, I went to a concert with my mom and her friend, and it was Trivium, Coheed and Cambria, and Slipknot. And
Oh, beautiful.
Slipknot, yeah, Slipknot has always been like my favorite band, and seeing them live back then like blew my mind because I remember when Trivium went on, there was like three mosh pits at once in the pit area, and then yeah, and so when Coheed and Cambria went on, everyone just watched, and I was like, the difference of like the energy of the crowd was interesting. I didn't understand at the time why there were so many people moshing for Trivium, but no one was for Coheed and Cambria. And then Slipknot went on, and there was five mosh pits at once, and I
Right.
was like, it blew my mind. Now that I'm older and I have a better understanding because I've been in music longer and I've done it. Well, obviously not to that level, but I've kind of
Yeah.
studied it, um, and dove into it. I have a better understanding, but seeing it live was such a rush, and I was like, I want to do that. And when I was, shoot, I don't even remember how old I was when I started, but I didn't start doing vocals first. I actually started playing drums first. Um, and I played drums for about 7 years. And I could still pick up some sticks and play drums to this day.
There you go. So you're technically multi instrumental.
Well, I got drums and vocals. If you give me a guitar, I'm not gonna know what to do. If you give me a bass, I'm just
That's
gonna slap it a
okay.
lot and you know.
Well, when I meant by multi instrumental, I meant like you can sing as well as you can play the drums. Also, exactly meant that you can play a whole band by yourself.
Oh
We
yeah,
didn't mean that literally.
I'm definitely not Death Clock.
Right. There you go. So what? So I guess so. You've had some interesting times as a vocalist. Have you yourself had? Do you yourself have any stories of when you yourself were in different bands? Or is the last time the only band that you were in? Or are you? I'm pretty sure you were in a couple, if I'm not mistaken.
So the very, very first band that I was ever in, we didn't do anything. We recorded one song that never went anywhere. I have it on my old iPod. Ryan was in that band too, and it's it's like god tier cringeworthy. It was called Never Die Alone. Actually, Garrett from White Wolf was in it as well.
Nice.
It was called
Give
Never
it a
Die
shout out to
Alone.
give it a shout out to Garrett from White Wolf.
And they just dropped a new song with a new video
Yes, they
too.
did.
So
Yes, Cage was epic. I just got that from Joel. That was a hell of of an intense music video.
I haven't had a
So,
chance to watch it, but I'm going to, and everyone else should as well. I love those boys.
oh hell yeah,
Um, but so it
we're
was
all
called
family technically.
Never Die Alone, and um, I had come up with so many different names that I just bam 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 bam, and the majority was like, yeah, Never Die Alone, let's do it. and we took really cringy member photos, and we did like we stood on a patio and there was a light and it shined down, so like our faces were blacked out kind of, and it was, oh god. And in that band I wasn't even gonna be like a screaming vocalist. I was gonna like do like the lower register, like five finger death punch kind of stuff.
There you
But
go.
the first song that they were writing, they were like, "Oh, well, your voice doesn't fit with this song, so we'll just get you on another one." So yeah, okay. And so I have the song. Oh, I don't listen to it.
Right. I
And
think
then
basing on myself included, I don't think we can like really hear ourselves or see ourselves with an actual positive like. I mean, honestly, when I'm like done with these podcasts, like I like I'll record it and then I'll play it and I'll just put it away and not look at it. It's like I don't want to see myself. That's horrible.
yeah,
I'm
I'm the
scared
same
of.
way, man. Honestly,
It's like,
like
oh, that's funny. So so why don't you go through so when you were in these when you were touring over for the Violence tour. Could you tell? And that was with Haunted by Day. Uh, big shout out to Jeremy and the rest of the guys. You guys are family. What was that? What was that like? Tell us like a rundown of being on tour.
so touring, well, doing that show run with Haunted by Day. Imagine like just take a meme and then make it real life. Being with those guys was a lot of fun. It was really great. You know, we got to bond with them and get really close with them. And just getting to watch them, you know, watch them in this spot, and then the next day go over here and watch them again. Then the next day go over there, watch them again. Um, it was really great, and it never got old to watch them play the same set and hear the same song. It was like the first time that I saw it every time, because
Yeah,
I
you
was just
never get
happy
bored.
to like have that experience with these guys, you know. And
Did you ever go to any restaurants while you were out there? Like just bullshit at like a McDonald's or something, you know? Or like get
oh,
any autographs while you were out there or anything like that.
oh, you know, we had to get Denny's.
Yes, you can never go to Denny's. You owe Denny's. Isn't that right? that's
You
that's
cannot, you cannot be in a metal band and not go to Denny's at least once, like on a run. I don't care who you are, but one stop in particular um basically changed my whole outlook on performing music, and it was when we were in Reading, with, let's see, I know Bullet Lobotomy played, and I was literally just talking to one of their members earlier. Haven't talked to him since. And of Avalon played. That's when we met those guys.
right,
Um,
right. Did they play at one of the Asylum Fests? If I'm not mistaken, didn't they play over there also?
I don't know if they played that, but we did our uh, the last show run that we did with of Avalon.
Oh,
That
okay,
one was crazy. But
okay.
the show in Reading, like, there wasn't a whole lot of people. You know, it was another one of those shows where it was the other bands and like
It's
maybe
Reddit.
five other people. But
Redding's mostly like forests and rivers and wolves and bobcats. My family used to live out there, so we had a trailer out there. Redding's nothing special. Not even Weaverville out there is is that bad. So I'm not surprised, honestly.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just like being there, and we played in a skate shop, and
Oh, that's sick. Keep going.
yeah, like the whole aesthetic of being in a skate shop, playing music for, a handful of people, I was like, I have no reason to be anxious or hold back. And I had my friend Callie do my makeup because she did the drummer's JoJo. She did his makeup, and I was like, I want to get my makeup done. I want to look pretty, and so she did my makeup. And like right after she did it, she was like, "Oh, I want to walk to the gas station because I want to get." I think she wanted cigarettes, and I was like, "All right, I'll go with you because I want to get a thing of water and an energy drink." So we went,
Right.
and mind you, I
You
have
had
makeup, huh?
you had makeup on.
Yeah, and
Okay, keep
we
going.
go in, and um, I get my stuff. She goes up, and we're like, "Hey, just want to get this," and he's like, "Oh, can I see your ID?" And she's like, "Yeah, okay." And then they're just waiting, and he looks at me, and he was like, "Oh, your friend here doesn't have to show me their ID if they don't want to. If they want to buy some liquor." And like he kind of smiled at me, and I was like, "Excuse me." I was like, for one, I'm okay. For two, I gotta go.
I gotta go. So
Um,
you got hit on while wearing makeup. Is that the general thought here?
that is exactly what happened. And then we
Oh
went back,
wow.
and when it was our turn to play, like I can't explain what exactly triggered in my brain, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go all out, and I went all out. I was like rolling on the floor. I went outside and yelled at people to come inside. I like jumping around and like two
Adrenaline.
stepping, and I was all over the place, man. And it was crazy, and I did things that I had never done before performing at a show, and that kind of like broke me out of my shell of I'm just here to play the show and I can't do anything else, and I have to like just stick to the show and that's it. No, I was like, I am the show. We are the show. We're going to
You
put
are
on
the show.
something
They came
fantastic.
to see you guys overseas. You aren't the opener. At you were the main at that point. I mean, I guess you could technically say you and Haunted by Day were the mains by that no, but I don't believe that during these tours that there are any openers. Am I correct or am I wrong? I wasn't there, so I wouldn't know.
Um for that one in particular, if I remember right, I think Bullet Lobotomy was the opener, and then Of Avalon went on, and then Haunted by Day, and then us. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, yeah. You were
There,
definitely the headliner.
um, but to be completely honest, as far as like who came, like who they're coming for, you'd be surprised. Like when we opened for OTEP, we helped sell it out. When we opened for Carnifex, we helped sell it out. Now, mind you, I will absolutely say it's easy to sell tickets when you have acts like OTEP and Oceano, Prison,
Oh yeah,
Enterprise Earth. That's
Becoming
a big
Romans and
reason.
Reflection. All of those other guys. Of course, they're like they're super big these days. So I can definitely feel that way. But in this regard, you were the headliner because, as you said, it was it was those two, and then Haunted by Day technically was also an opener by merit, and then you are the last. And if I'm not mistaken, judge me if I'm wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong. But the last band is usually the headliner of a concert. Kind of got that, but notice alone.
Well, yeah, like the last band is the headliner, but as personally, I would never want to take away from the openers because like the opener like
Oh,
sets the
oh no,
mood, sets
oh no,
the
you're right.
tone, and like they kind of draw people in by like, oh shit, there's music playing, or they try to slang tickets, or um, I feel like everyone from the opener to the headliner to the people helping the bands and the people that buy the tickets, like everyone has a huge part in it. No matter, like I said, if you just bought a ticket, you have no idea how much you're helping the bands and how much you're helping the scene and how much, like, how big of an impact that has.
It's a very big
um,
thing. That's actually one of the reasons why I actually want to take this moment and to obviously say support your local music. So, we're really hurting right now. Support your local music. Buy tickets. Go out there. You know, have a fun time when concerts come back. Support your
and
local
then
music.
and two, you can even buy merch from the bands right now, because like bands have merch that they're trying to sell, and bands are still recording, they're still doing things. There's ways to help support bands, or even streaming them on Spotify, or watching their music videos, whatever it may be. And there's things that a lot of people feel like are very small things, but in the big picture, that it's a really big deal. And
Very much so. Very much so. I mean,
uh,
just spreading out that these bands exist. After COVID, can do a lot of help.
right,
So,
yeah.
so you were at that moment. back to back to the question. So you went into a gas station, makeup on, and you got hit on, and then right after you came back into it, you were Mr. Amazing. Possible adrenaline, maybe? I don't know. Just
I don't remember when exactly, like, if, because I think one of the other bands was playing. I mean, honestly, it could have been from watching Bullet Lobotomy and Of Avalon and Haunted by Day. I was just like, man, like, especially like Of Avalon had this energy that I really loved, and that's why we went on the show run with them, because they brought this energy that as a band we loved it. We wanted to expand them and take them along with us, because they had never gone on a show run before. They hadn't really played in the areas that we were taking them, and it was a really fun time.
and also in light in I guess in understanding, Haunted by Day probably wouldn't have brought you along if they didn't see that you matched their energy also. Otherwise you would have like pulled one of the other guys. They specifically pulled you guys, which is pretty cool, honestly. So, in that regards, what is what are some of your what are some of your go-tos when it comes to music? Like when you were younger, what was your best way? What was your first set? Let me put it that way. What was the first songs or first setup that you ever did while vocalizing and or drumming at the same time? I don't know.
So, well, like, performing live or just playing in general?
One or the other, maybe both. Maybe both. Your choice.
So, for just playing in general, it was I had a drum set at my grandparents' house in my papa's room, and I had a book with like drum beats. I would listen to like AC/DC, Rob Zombie, Metallica, and play drum beats from that. And as far as performing live with drums, I haven't done that. But when it comes to doing vocals, I sing in the shower like everyone else does. Um,
Best
I,
practice. Best practice room in the house.
oh yeah, it's got great acoustics. Um, and I do vocals in my car a lot, and my very first show playing as a vocalist, I wasn't even supposed to be the front man. I was supposed to be the backup vocalist, but the main vocalist um, was with the rhythm guitarist at the time in LA for truck driving school. And this is for another band that I was in with Ryan called A Turtle's Last Nightmare.
Okay. Well,
Oh man. And for the record, neither of us named that band. It was like that when we joined. Um,
okay.
and it was in Turlock at this shed in the country called Metal in the Cuts. And the first song that was played, I wasn't even on the stage, quote unquote, for it because I was really anxious and my ex-girlfriend was there. So I was like, I don't want to embarrass myself, so I let them do an instrumental. Ryan actually talked to the crowd. I would not talk to the crowd at all. I was afraid. And
Because of your ex girlfriend.
oh yeah, that was oh boy.
Never good to
Um
have a bad relationship while in the crowd. That definitely cuts you down to size. Well, that cuts anyone does
yeah,
that. Whether you're a musician or you're a tech or you're an artist of painting, whatever. As soon as you find out your ex is out there, cut
yeah.
power.
Um but so then I played the other songs that we had planned to play. I did terrible. Like I'm just gonna be 100% honest. I did horrible, but everyone's like, "Oh, dude, good job, bro! Like, oh, you did great. You should be the vocalist." Like, what the fuck? Like, and it made me feel great. And looking back, I was like, was everyone just being nice to me, or what? Like, did they actually enjoy it? Like, I don't know. Um, but to a certain degree, just the whole like energy that they had for me, I appreciate it because that gave me the confidence to continue, and it helped me be where I'm at now. And I will never forget. There's this one guy that approached me after a show at the boardwalk, and he was just in Titan, and he was like, "Man, like your song Serenity like hit home for me, and your vocals were awesome, and all this stuff." And he was like, "Can I take a picture with you?" And in that moment, like just my heart exploded. I was like, I've been waiting for this. Like someone wants a picture with me. Like I thought it
Right,
was
right.
crazy. Um, and I don't know. I don't remember who he was. I didn't exchange any information, but
Memory still matters.
like wherever and whoever that person is, like if some like by some miracle you're watching this, you do not understand what you did for me that day. You are a big reason that I'm still trying to do this. So thank you. Um, as
And then,
just as much as everyone else that's been supportive of me and um, trying to like hype me up with vocals and all that stuff. I always say like thank you, I appreciate it, or thank you, it means a lot. And I hope that no one ever thinks that it's like, oh, he says that to everyone. I mean, I say it to everyone because I really do appreciate it a lot, and it does mean a lot from everyone. And it really keeps me going. And there's been times where I've thought about giving up. There's been definitely been times, especially lately, where I'm just like, I'm getting older and I ain't getting any younger, and it's just me. I don't have a band yet, and what if no one even wants to hear me? What if no one even wants to be in a band with me? But then I think back to all the people that supported me, or not only just me, but like the band that I was in, and I think maybe when I get members and I get songs written and you know things start moving forward, maybe then people will see and understand and recognize that I'm still really trying to do this and be serious about it,
Right there,
and
you
they'll
go.
hop on.
That's honestly one of the reasons why I emailed I messaged you I think 2 days ago trying to pep you up. Um, I honestly feel that there are people out there, there are bands especially, and there are especially famous bands that have gone through this, and it has taken them sometimes years to reconnect and start over, but they do. I mean, think about going back to Ronnie Radke from Falling in Reverse. When he was kicked from Escape the Fate, he was actually put in prison. I don't know what for. That's probably information I'll look up later. But after a long while, he's like, you know what? This is over. I can't do this now. I have to start over. And he started in Falling in Reverse. And when he did, he for the longest time struggled. Of course he struggled. He started a whole new project by himself, and eventually he made it. And I feel that you're on that track. I feel that now is the time for Rest in Deceit to make its notice. By the way, why don't you tell them where they can find you? Probably best to do that now.
So I've made an Instagram, a Twitter, and a Facebook for Rest in Deceit. It is Rest in Deceit, or if it doesn't come up with that on Twitter, I know it's Rest in Deceit CA. Um, like I said, I don't have a whole lot to show right now,
Oh yeah,
only because it's just me. But
right.
eventually, once I get members and get writing and get, all that, then, that's when everything will come together. I already have ideas for songs. I have ideas for merch, like everything.
There you go.
All I need is the people. That's it.
Right. Maybe one of now, how can we get a hold of you? As much as your band, how can we get a hold of you?
Um, so I mean, of course, I manage the band's pages and I have notifications on for it. Or if you go to my personal um, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I mean, I'm even on TikTok. I'm trying to be all over the place. Um,
I know.
any
I personally don't get TikTok, so that's me. But I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Keep going.
Oh, you're totally fine. I mean, even on Twitch, um, all my personal platforms is Sasquatch93, which it's Sasquatch, but just put an N.
There you go.
'Sasquatch93.
Classy.
Um, and the
Okay.
reason behind that is, Sasquatch, because I'm a big, like, big person, and then Squanch from Rick and Morty.
There you go.
Just
There
kind
you
of,
go. So,
um,
so, um, going back a little bit. Um, what actually made you trying to put this out so it makes sense? What made you as a kid, as a youngling, into a musician?
I mean, probably the biggest thing, like I said, seeing those bands live when I was younger and playing the drums and um, before so I went to the National Guard. Before I did that, I was heavily in the music scene locally, like in Turlock, Modesto. I went to shows a lot, and there was a venue in Ceres called the Workshop. I was there all the time,
The
and
workshop.
yeah, and
I
I've got
felt that.
I
I
have old I have old photos on my iPod of taking Fox Hollow like workshop days,
oh, nice.
and like I I used to quote unquote manage without thought. Um, I didn't like realistically. I didn't do anything. I didn't know what I was trying to do.
Mm.
Um, I was with them all the time, and I hung out with them a lot. Um, and went went to training, and then when I came home, probably the next month, the band that Ryan and I were in before I got in, they were like, "Hey, we're going to be in LA for this festival. Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And so that's how I ended up in that band, because once I went with them to that, like I would go with them to LA, I'd go with them to other shows, and help them. And um, I told Ryan I wanted to be in the band because I wanted to do vocals, and bada bing, bada boom, ended up in there. Um, and then I played some shows as the backup vocalist because the front man ended up, obviously coming back. And we played some awesome shows. The one show that I love, thinking back on, was when we played at the Queen Mary in LA.
Oh, wow. Tell us about that one.
Yeah. So the Queen Mary, we played the the big band that I can remember that was there. There could have been more that I don't remember, but the one that I do was I Wrestled a Bear Once.
Oh, wow. They're
Yeah,
famous.
and like playing that show was crazy, and like getting to watch I Wrestled a Bear Once, and there was a dude in the mosh pit and in the banana suit. I will never forget that. That was the
Oh,
best.
wow. That sounds insane. So
And
were you like the banana peel when you like
oh,
did you like try tearing off his head or something like that?
I didn't even know the guy. I was just like, there's someone in a banana suit. I love music so much.
I love music so much. There you go.
Um, but even before that, like when we went to that festival in LA, it was called Wild Wild Fest, and We Came as Romans played that. Like that was like they were the headliner,
Oh, wow,
and
they were making the rounds back then. Actually, interesting enough, Brandon Blacker actually told a story where he also ran into We Came as Romans also. So you both have a story of the same band. That's actually pretty interesting. Go back to Brandon Blacker for yesterday. So yeah, keep going. I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt.
oh, you're totally fine. I am a guest on your podcast, my friend.
Ah,
Um,
well.
you have the reins here.
Okay, we'll keep that.
Um,
We'll keep that going then. So Queen. So what part of LA is the Queen Anne's? Out of curiosity, Queen Anne says to me New Orleans.
so the Queen Mary, I can't remember what part of the Queen Mary was at, but I don't I don't mean to to go back myself, but I
No,
want to
keep going.
go back. I want to go back to Wild Wild Fest. So
Oh, by all means, go
after they
for it.
played, there was an after party at
Okay.
this place called Club Hydra, and
Ooh.
when we pulled up, like I don't know how they knew that we were there, but we just heard people chanting the letters to the band name, ATLN, ATLN, and we were like, we were blown away. And we walked in, and a couple members of We Came as Romans were like, dude, they didn't even chant our name. What are you guys doing? Like, you're doing something right. And we talked. We were hanging out with them. I talked to their, if I remember, I think it was the drummer for like 20 minutes, and Ryan came up to me hammered, and he was like, "Do you know who you were just fucking talking to?" And I was like, "Just a really cool dude." And he was like, "No, that's the Weekend with Roman's drummer." And I was like, "I hate that I don't recognize faces. Like, you can tell me someone's in a band, or like you could be like, oh, like members from this band are here, and I'll go there, and I probably won't recognize anyone unless it's a band that I follow heavily."
Oh my god, I feel you, my friend. Like honestly, when ever I'm honestly, it's honest. When I was doing the teching, I would be talking to people on my on messaging. And it's like, hey, who are you? Like, we're the guys you kept talking about. Oh, I am so sorry. And that's happened
Yeah,
quite a few times. And like we like actually what's funny is that's actually funny. There was this there was this who was it? There was actually a sound engineer that I actually did that to. It's like who are you? It's like, dude, you gave me your car. I'm just gonna rip it up. Like, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I, trust me, it's sometimes best to look through Facebook pictures just to know who these person look like, so you don't make the mistake. I've learned that personally, and I keep and I hit myself when that happens. Like, it happens, my friend. You're not the only. You're not the only. The only person to cause that type of sin, if you get that way.
I do that all the time, and if it's on social media, I'll definitely like look through pictures. But oh yeah, okay, that's who you are. But
Uh,
I I've talked to so many people because of music that I lose track, and I'm like, okay, fuck, where did I meet you? And they'll be like, oh, you met me at like, this show at Holy Diver. Okay, which one? Or like, oh, you met me at the show at the Boardwalk. Okay, which one?
right.
Um,
Well, yeah.
but
When you're a musician, and it just comes with the territory, the masses. Honestly, the people should be very lenient towards people like that. You have to like specifically remember and say exactly where you met this musician. Otherwise, you're like, oh, you're from blank, and they're like, no. It's like, there's like several others. I'm probably gonna play guess where I met you game, and just yeah. So the masses, the common people have to be very lenient when it comes to musicians. I've learned that just by being a tech, just by being a promoter. Sometimes you'll run into people and like, be lenient, people. We're trying.
well, I mean that I feel like even though being a musician, I'm still a common person, and um, I feel like a lot of the time we put this like we put musicians on a pedestal like they're higher than us, but really they're just people. They're just very talented, very well known people, and
Right?
that's one thing that I've learned because I'm friends with like Jared Dines, Austin Dickey. You know, I've met. Well,
For the people at home, you might have to describe who these people are. I'm just saying, like, they're not gonna get it. Like, some of the names maybe, but just regular people's names, it's not gonna work unless you're our favorite musician. Just saying.
so Jared Dines is a famous YouTuber. He was in a band called Rest Repose. Um, Austin Dickey's in a band called For the Likes of You. I fucking love For the Likes of You. Um, and he's also on Jared's YouTube. And after playing with bands that have a lot of traction or are very well known, and like just talking to them, I remember I specifically asked, I think it was Jared or Austin. I was like, why are you so like cool with us? Like, why are you so friendly with us? Like, we're nobody, you know, like we're nothing special. And it was just out of, you know, pure curiosity. And he was like, well, that's the thing, is like, you guys aren't anything special, we're not anything special. You treat us like we're just regular people. You don't come up to us and like bombard us, you don't fangirl, you know, you're normal with us, and that's what we like. You know, we can just be ourselves with you and hang out and have a good time. And so, you know, that, and two, like, in Titan, we were recording with Cody Fuentes, and when I first met him, I fangirled on the inside, but he's a super chill guy, really great producer, um, and even hanging out with Darius, you know, it's crazy because you see him on stage and he's like this brutal, like angry, evil presence, but then when he gets off stage, he's so like normal, and
That's
he's
actually one of
actually really nice.
That's actually one of the reasons why I've actually stuck in the metal scene for so long. Like there are actually, when I first started doing this doing music promoting and teching. At first, when I first stepped into Spinnakers, and this is a little bit of a confession here, I was really worried that as soon as I stepped into Spinnakers, I was going to get into a fight. I was either going to get into a fight, I was going to get knifed, someone was going to shoot me, I was going to, get, I don't know, tied up and tortured. There were so many things that went through my mind when I first stepped into Spinnakers. It's like I'm going into a dive bar. I'm going into a bar where people are, drinking beer, and I was wet behind the ears. This was 2015. So when I found out exactly what you're saying, it's like, wow, actually, these guys are cool. These guys are actually nice to me and actually understand where I'm coming from. And it was from there that I started to gather more and more interest of the metal scene, because yes, exactly like you say, even though, people of all kinds may label metal as, you know, harsh, destructive, whatever, violent,
Satanic.
satanic, my favorite. Oh my, I forgot one. Satanic.
Oh
They
God.
these exactly the people that you and when you meet a metalhead, you actually find out exactly like you said. They're cool people that are just as into music as those Katy Perry poppy fans who eat a lot of sugar, but you know just on the darker side. Maybe we like horror music more often. Maybe have more piercings or something like that. But it's not is anything dangerous. We're no more dangerous than those than country boys and than frat boys. Okay, frat boys actually pretty dangerous, but like people in the country scene, those people knocking boots and doing square dances and at hoedowns. We're like that, only on a darker sense. And people don't seem to get that. Whether it's freaking, what do you call it? Whether it's all the music awards, or whether it's church to a certain extent. It seems that we, the metalheads, or we in the metal scene, seem to have such a hard view to everyone. And exactly like you said, we are no eviler, no messed up, no bad than a normal person that just likes to listen to music.
Right. And you know, people think about a metalhead and they think, you know, well, obviously I have tattoos and, you know, stretched ears, but they think that all we listen to is metal. But I mean, I listen to just about everything. I mean, yes, I typically listen to metal and
Right.
stuff that is really angry, but
I listen.
I
I listen
listen
to
to a lot of stuff.
I listen to Owl City at nighttime. That's probably not something I should have said on live TV, but whatever. I'm feeling it. Yeah. Uh, so so I guess the question I was leading up to, and actually to comment on your tattoo response, like there are a ton of people that have tattoos, and it's not just metalheads. Metalheads, people in the Spanish scene, people in the rap scene, even country boys and frat boys have tattoos. So I don't think tattoos and piercings really amount to being, bad or evil. And, it just bothers me that, even now we're being ostracized, even though we're practically in the mainstream. I mean, I don't know. Justin Bieber was wearing a Metallica shirt the other day, and we're the bad guys. The hell. So I guess I'm understanding where you're going with that. So question. So I guess going on that, how many, or if you can, how many main famous bands have you actually played with or run up against?
Oh man, so we played with. Well, I wrestled a bear once. I wasn't in the band at the time, but they played with As Blood Runs Black. Um, and we came as Romans. We played with OTEP, Outline in Color, um, Dropout Kings. Did I already say OTEP?
Yeah, you just said OTEP.
Okay, my memory is
It's all
terrible.
good. It's all good. We're almost done.
Carnifex, Oceano, Prison, Enterprise Earth, um, Demon. See if I can remember. Redeem, Revive, um, Avoid, Dead Crown, For the Likes of You. Um, I bet you like $10. After this, I'm gonna remember all of them.
There you
But
go.
right now, since I want to
That's okay.
remember it, I'm
Just
not
take
gonna.
yeah. Just take what you can.
I think that's all I can remember off the top of my head. But
Well, that's okay. Yeah, you've
oh, and Traders. We played with
oh, okay,
Traders
all right, okay. There you go. Now I think you're done after that. You're good. You're good. Well, honestly,
and
that
Distinguisher and Born
okay.
Anew.
Okay. You got any more back there? So, all right. Well, one last time, why don't you say where we can find you?
So my name is Jordan Williams. I am the only member at the moment of the band I'm trying to start called Rest in Deceit. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, everything. Um, just look up Rest in Deceit or even Rest in Deceit CA if it's on Twitter if you're not finding it. And you know, I'm really wanting to get back into the music scene with a fresh band, fresh sound, fresh music, and it's gonna be heavy, angry, and it's gonna be fun.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, Jordan Williams, I thank you for taking the time for this interview. I know that it's getting pretty late, and there is a ton of distractions on my end. I got cars coming back and forth, alarms going off. Pretty sure people are like, "Dude, go someplace where you're not having this issue." So I thank you for being patient with me, and especially at this time.
Of course.
Yeah, I want to thank you for having for being in this interview. This will be live So when it's done, I'll send you the link, and yeah, just send it out there, and I give you best luck to your upcoming band, and I'm hoping for luck for your current band.
Well, thank you. I mean, thank you for having me and taking the time out of your day, and even just considering to hear what I have to say, and trying to help me boost my band, and I guess me as a vocalist and as a person. I really appreciate it. I wish you the best with your podcast. I hope it becomes everything you want it to be and then some. Um, if this is the end, then again, thank you, and I hope you have a safe trip home. I'm probably gonna go live on Twitch right now because shoot, it's
It's 8:42.
8:42,
Yeah.
and we're team no sleep in here. So
Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you go. Thank you. That was Jordan. That was Jordan Williams, former uh Last Titan, as well as Rest in Deceit, and as always, we make today.